Welcome to Gapology Radio with your hosts Mark Tinas and Brian Brokoff, authors of the leadership development books Gapology, IMBAR, and Speed of Purpose. At Gapology, our purpose is to help leaders achieve their greatest potential. To learn more about our groundbreaking books and training services, visit our website, gapology.org.
Hey everybody, welcome to Gapology Radio. As we're approaching the holiday season, you may be wondering what to get for that Gapology enthusiast in your life. Well, check out our line of Gapology merch. We have apparel, mugs, hats, etc., all adorned with our signature Gapology logo, as well as a collection of quotable quotes from the book and this podcast show as well. Just head on over to our merchandise link on our website, gapology.org, for a link to the store site. And as for tonight, we continue our Leadership Rhythm series with a focus on creating impact with communication. So let's go ahead and get the show rolling with Mark Tinas. Hey Mark, how you doing?
Good, Brian. How are you?
I'm good. Getting all ready for the holiday season. It's middle of December here when we're recording this, and I know the Christmas holidays coming up. Have you got big plans on your end?
Yeah, we're flying to Colorado to spend time with the family.
Oh, nice.
That's out there.
Yeah. When are you going?
And tomorrow.
Oh, geez. Okay. Nice. Are you all packed?
Just about.
You're not like me, just throwing stuff in the bag on your way to the airport?
I'm a light packer in general, so it's a 5-minute process for me, maybe 10.
Yeah. I'm sure Darla started a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Is she a big shoe person? Does she bring a lot of shoes?
You know, her bag's so heavy I can't even open it, so I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Probably so.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It sounds like that'll be fun. All the kids are going to be there?
Yeah, and we've shipped a lot of the Christmas gifts on ahead, so
okay.
That should lighten the load a little.
Yeah, nice. Well, you are far more prepared than I am. But I think we've got a fun topic to talk about tonight. This one's going to be all about communication. And so I think preparation for communication is always a good tip.
Well, yeah, and a communication rhythm is critical for every leader.
Yeah.
So you have to figure that out because the alternative is a leader that has a lack of communication or communication chaos.
Right.
And neither of those work to drive great results. So if you want great results, a communication rhythm is absolutely critical. And you design it, to deliver your purpose, to deliver the results that you need. And it could be tweaked, throughout the year. But in general, it should be predictable and known. And that helps the team thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. They should know, at least the standard types of pieces of information. They should know when it's going to be delivered. When are the expectations for the week going to be delivered? When's the, accountability going to happen? When is the recognition going to happen? They should really know that stuff. I think that should be predictable for sure.
Yeah, it allows them to prepare.
Yeah.
And it creates a focus. So you want the team very focused on the right things. So a communication rhythm will create that focus.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it helps to minimize fear and anxiety in a team. If they don't really know what the expectations are, if they don't really know when the recognition is going to happen, all that, it creates chaos, like you said, potential fear there, I think, definitely anxiety.
Yeah, some teams only communicate, in emergency situations. That's not good. So in this case, design it, again, to deliver the results. When results are not being delivered, it's designed to understand what needs to be done differently and to take action. So you really just build it in. I like a weekly rhythm. You know that I look at the year as 52 separate NFL games, and we've got to win every one of them. So I've always operated off a weekly communication rhythm, which would have some monthly components and quarterly components. But in the business we were in, by narrowing it to the week was quite effective. And we could literally move results and or change direction rather quickly if needed to move results in the following week, or, whatever it might be. Months didn't go by, without moving the number to where we needed it to be. So whatever your cadence is, as a leader, whatever the timing of your industry, your organization, you design the communication rhythm to fit that, and it can be incredibly effective.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, as you're saying that, I was thinking, God, if I had to choose one skill that would be the most critical to producing great leadership and creating impact on your team, it would have to be communication, don't you think?
I would think so. It's a big deal. Yeah. And it doesn't mean you have to be charismatic or extremely articulate. You have to be on purpose. You can certainly learn charisma and articulation, but you need to be clear. You need to leave time for questions. You need to ensure that the message is, is understood. The other thing that great leaders do well is they have not only a team communication cadence and rhythm, but they also have a one-on-one communication cadence and rhythm. And by allowing the individuals on the team to be both part of the team and then part of the one-on-one piece, it really works well. And so you really need to think about, do you need both? If you have 5 direct reports, it would be great to talk one-on-one with each of those 5, ideally weekly, could be every other week. But then as a group, you would talk as well and communicate around results and the things that matter, and et cetera. So you need to think about both sides of that.
Yeah. And actually, you've mentioned this in the past, as far as the cadence of meetings. So you've talked about the Monday meeting quite a bit on the show. I think that's a critical piece for that team meeting. And you've talked about gap meetings where you have underperformers that come together, share their action plans, receive coaching and that type of thing. I think there's some leadership team meetings that you can do on a regular basis that people can really count on and build into, their weeks as well.
Yeah. Again, predictability is key, and you want to create an impetus for progress. So if you were holding a Monday meeting and reviewing results, you would set the expectation as a leader for improved results the following week. That in and of itself, along with the actions to get there, can really move the number. And again, it's very predictable. If I know I'm going to speak on Monday about my results, it will affect my behavior all week long as it relates to achieving those results. That's just human behavior. That's how it is. So if leaders are that clear, that on purpose, and make that a significant piece of the rhythm, top performance is not far away. It really can happen. That matters.
Yeah, absolutely. And in Gapology, we provide some key tools, some methods that you can build into your leadership rhythm, that can create impact with your team. So when you're thinking about how to define your key discussion points, what are some things that you would say, Mark? What should we build in?
Well, if it were in the one-on-one time, one of the keys would be to make it their time. Mm-hmm. So answer their questions, address their concerns, give them this weekly or whatever the time frame is outlet to discuss what's on their mind. That's a big deal. Oftentimes leaders can learn a great deal in those conversations, and that will allow them to lead the team forward at even, a greater pace. But again, I like when the team is all together in a weekly meeting, that meeting be rather repetitive and review the same things, if those things are the ones that matter. Publication of those results as well, so that they're visible to everyone. It's the reason why an NFL game has a scoreboard. It motivates the team to play harder. You'll see them looking up at the video replays of their play. They'll look up at the scoreboard to just see the stats, but it also keeps the entire audience, the fans, engaged, and they can, at a glance, know where we're at. You want to create that kind of environment when you're in a results-oriented environment. If you took that away, imagine how it would impact the game. Think about that.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah,
people would just stop caring.
Yeah, so that it matters. So when you think of a communication rhythm, and you put it in a gapology context, it would simply be that a communication rhythm closes the knowledge gap, which is what the team needs to know. You need to make sure that happens. It then closes the importance gap, which is why that thing matters. And then it closes the action gap, and that's what the team needs to do. And when you design that as your rhythm, knowledge, importance, and action, what they need to know, why that matters, and then what they need to do, that rhythm can be just incredible in terms of driving results. It can often be the top thing that you as a leader do to drive results. Think about that. And it can be shared with other leaders to where they can become as effective as well, and the whole team can move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. In your week, when you're defining what you want to communicate, I think there's some key pieces there. So determine what needs to be communicated and the best method of delivery, and then block time on your calendar to prepare your communication with the tips that Mark just went through. So, laying it out, if you're going to deliver it on paper, it should be laid out in that format. If you're delivering it verbally, draft it out. At least your bullet points should be laid out in that manner. So whatever that method is that you're communicating, that process works.
Yeah. If you think about, if you had 3 key metrics, 3 big things you were going after, your weekly rhythm would include communicating the results from those 3 key metrics, and then having extensive discussion around the tactics that were used to deliver the results. So picture that. It might also then include conversation around where we came up short and what actions we need to take again in this week to overcome that. If you keep it that simple, make it that predictable and repetitive, it really moves things. And I don't know of a better way to move results than that simple formula right there.
I think that is really the foundation of anything that you're communicating. It needs to be rolled in there somewhere. So when you're looking at the larger message, just take a highlighter on your prep work. Are you delivering what the team needs to know? Highlight that. Are you delivering the importance? Why does it matter? Highlight that. Are you delivering some sort of action, some, go-to action piece? Highlight that. I think that stuff's critical. And then I think with that, and I want to get your thoughts on this too, Mark. So I was thinking of the habit ladder. We talked about that last week as well. There's, 5 steps in the habit ladder that when we're, training, rolling out a new process, validating a new process that we want to follow, we want to communicate, we want to validate understanding, we want to validate agreement, we want to make sure we're practicing with feedback in order to deliver the habit, which is the top of the ladder. And I think we can really look to that model as well with communication. So just in any sort of communication method, I think it's important that we determine additional methods to validate understanding and agreement around those critical methods, and really look to that ladder as kind of your go-to tool.
Yeah, the habit ladder can absolutely be used as a model for communication. Mm-hmm. So leaders should use it as a model. And generally, when you communicate, you're trying to get something accomplished. And that could be called a habit within the team, something you want done repetitively, something that works. And the habit ladder simply lays out those 5 steps. And it's easy to structure communication in that way. And it's easy then to understand if there was a breakdown, which step we didn't deliver. And it's easy then to look at the top performers and understand how they got there. And it really does work. So the habit ladder, which is a key piece of Gapology, is a quite effective communication tool. But at the end of the day, we would recommend you structure communication, whether it's written or spoken, around the three things we already mentioned. Tell the team what they need to know, tell them why it matters, and then tell them what they need to do, what you need from them. And again, that's knowledge, importance, and action. And we've seen that model, that simple 3-step model, work in every environment we have ever used it in. It worked with missionaries in Africa. It worked with a Fortune 25 company here in the United States. It worked in restaurants, hotels, construction, banking, finance. I could go on and on. We've never seen it not work. And so if you as a leader do not have that as your rhythm, as your communication rhythm, start right there, and you'll be amazed.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, if you think about how a message from a leader sort of trickles through the organization down to the frontline worker that needs to execute whatever the leader's delivering, your effectiveness at the top determines the effectiveness of the performance of that frontline worker. So use this model and, really lay it out very, very clear, and that'll be the most effective.
One of the things we found, which surprised us, was that many leaders do not have a communication rhythm. Many organizations don't. And some of the low-hanging fruit that Gapology delivered to them was simply creating that. And the results moved immediately. And it may not be taught in school today, may not be taught in colleges or wherever. So it may actually be missing, and it may well be missing within your organization or within parts of your organization. So validate it, model it, and get it rolling. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. Especially the emerging leaders that we've talked about in the past probably do not have these skills. They may really struggle with this. So if you're a senior leader and you've developed some really great communication skills, use this model and train those emerging leaders to effectively communicate.
Yeah, think about the people that we talk to who we've never spoken to before who found Gapology. We were talking to somebody the other day in the energy sector as an example. You and I were, Brian. Mm-hmm. And they were blown away by Gapology. It was amazing to them. Mm-hmm. And that's the opportunity that's out there. We may totally underestimate that. And it is simple. It is simple. So let's make it so it's not amazing to anybody. Let's make it so it's standard operating practice.
Yeah.
And again, it really doesn't matter, what the business is or what the organization is. It would appear that it would work. Period. So if you need human behavior to move results, it will work. Even if you need human behavior to create AI, it will work. I don't know if we figured out Gapology for AI yet, but
maybe we need to.
Yeah, we just haven't seen anywhere where it doesn't work. And again, we often find people that just are amazed by it as if it were something that wasn't simple. And to us, it's simple. We've been immersed in it for a couple of decades now, I guess, and almost. And we were using it long before we wrote the book. The book's been out, 15 years or so?
14, yep.
And we taught it, for years before that. And so it's somewhat second nature to us, but we never take it for granted because we know that it works and we apply it, everywhere. Yeah,
definitely. Okay, well, I think that is good for this one. We gave everybody some great tips on this one. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. Our email is contact@gapology.org. We would be happy to talk to you, clarify any questions you might have. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to us on social media as well.
Yeah, Brian and I have been scheduling calls with leaders at their request, so we enjoy that and we learn a lot, and we're able to give some, quick advice and, tips on how to move things. So anyhow, feel free to stay in touch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you travel safely. Have a wonderful Christmas holiday, and I'll talk to you afterward.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, that'll do it from here. For more information on Gapology, including our line of merchandise, head on over to our website, gapology.org. Everyone have a fantastic week. We'll talk to you soon.
This has been a Gapology Institute production. Visit us at gapology.org.